Hello and welcome back everybody to Material Energy 4 Hypercubed. Last episode we set up the farms underneath the area there, and I since then moved everything over. To upstairs like I showed you guys in the last episode. Just waiting for this to charge a little bit. You guys can see I added a power tap up here. We still had a few. Made another redstone energy cell. We last episode got this node as a reward and I ran the power cable up. So these are separate. And turn it off. I don't waste any power. Okay. So let me just show you first. I moved this anchor from the middle to over here because, well, every time I come in here, I kind of want to be here. I don't want to have to run this way and then back and forth. And the one from underneath, I moved over to here and named it Stables now. And you'll see why that makes more sense. Thank you for the feather. Because this is the only thing that we have down here right now. It's actually a waste that I have an anchor for this. I could just make a ladder because I barely come down here, but it's fine. And you guys see, everything here is the way it was before. I could probably put some lights here, but it doesn't matter right now. I removed all the farms, and then I actually had to make, I think, I made 4 stacks of laboratory blocks to fill all these holes again. Because I think that, you know, because of this walkway, and maybe here or there we used a few more, I'm not sure, but I was out. So I had some more. And I removed this ME hookup down here for now because, well, I don't see any reason to have this. This ladder's still here, and the walkway, but I also closed up all the stuff with the hex blocks here. I don't know, I just wanted it to be nice again. You know, everything here is closed again. I don't want to have... Did I forget something in the corner here? No, I didn't. Alright, so everything is back to the way it was before down here, besides the walkway, in case we want to build something. And this area too. It might sound crazy to you guys that I'm doing this, but I just like things nice and neat. Whoa! Seriously, another bag. I found a few today. We're getting quite a collection. Then over here I added a drum because I needed a bunch of obsidian to make open tank blocks. All the other tanks that we used before I put in here. I just didn't want to use these thermal expansion ones because you have to... Because of the filling and the output, it's kind of weird. Anyway, so the open tank blocks work nicely and all I needed is obsidian, so I'm not going to take this out right now. I'm actually going to turn it off so I can take it out and put it into the ME system. And we have another stack in here. Then, before we go upstairs, I made some end stone today. Because I wanted the ender pearls that I moved, the ender lily seeds, to grow on end stone. And I left one in here, a piece of obsidian, to show you guys how I make that. When you put an ender pearl in here, it smelts down into this resonant ender. And for every ender pearl, you get 250 millibuckets. That is enough to make 5 end stone. And the way you make it is you put an obsidian in here, and then you simply drain that ender over it. You see it took the last 50 millibuckets, and now we get another piece of end stone. I looked into making it the chem way, but it requires lithium, which the only way to get it, I see, is from end stone. So I just made it this way. I've made it like that many times before, and it is also a lot more efficient. Let me show you guys. And stone. Then instead of making it with the fluid transposer, because you see with a fluid transposer over sandstone, it takes 250 millibuckets. Which is 1 ender pearl, but for this amount I get 5 over obsidian out of the smeltery here. You see, 50. And when you pour it over sandstone, it takes 250. So I always do it this way, well, just to save on ender pearls. They're still quite precious. Now we have 6 basic, 6 good, and 1 greater I got also today here. And did I do anything else down here? No, I don't think so. You see the vanilla mining age is still loaded up. So I wanted to stock up a little bit on the diamond. And how I'm doing it is I made my way up here first. And then slowly taking down this entire top section. And then from here I make my way down. But I'm in no rush. We're doing good on materials. So. And I got tired of taking a ladder. But I'm going to take it for right now real quick. There's a travel anchor up where the farms are now. just so I can get up and quicker up there. But I want to take this way real quick so I can show you from up here what it looks like all together. You ready? Bam! Yeah, that's right. I made it big. We had the 5 farming stations, and we found out last time. Why are they not harvesting? Why are you not harvesting? I'll look into this in a second. I just put in that energy cell and stuff. I finished about half an hour ago, and I didn't want the power running the whole time until I was ready. I'm like, all right, the system should be working. And it was working, but it doesn't seem to get power. We'll see in 1 second. And the aluminum ore berry bushes, I said initially I want to get auto-harvested. But I changed my mind because we don't need that much aluminum. We have a ton already. And if I ever need more, then I might add another farming station or something. We'll look into this. So, check it out. There's 4 sprinklers in each one of them. You remember this is a radius of 6. So this is 13 by 13, each one of these wheat fields. And also this field and that field over there. And I actually went into a testing world and made a big grass patch on this platform right here. And then put a sprinkler in the middle because I saw before that the sprinklers, you see the water, it looks like it's 3 wide and it goes to here. But when you actually use it, it shows the water in a different size than it actually hydrates. Okay. And I turned a sprinkler on the big grass patch to see, you know, where does the grass and the flowers grow. So that was the indicator for me. That's how far the water goes. And they actually do a radius of 7. So that it's a 15 by 15 area. But that seems to be only for grass or like when you water trees possibly or something like that. On farmland, they only have a radius of 4. So I had them out here first. You know, 1 there, 2 in the middle, and 2 in the middle, and 2 in the end. So 8 altogether. And now they're inside here. Let's go down here. Where's my ladder? Here it is. I can show you from up there. And I used this, I made this agon block. It's very cheap to make. It takes stone slabs and stone, and then you make a, what is it called? Just so you guys can see this. You make this block right here, the Z-tone tile. And then if you take those around a bone meal, you get these. And then you can scroll through them with the Alt key, and you get all these different blocks. And I thought that this one here looks really nice for the farm area. And I wanted something different, not just, you know, cobble or whatever. I think it looks good. I like it. And for lighting, I made a few of these flat lamps. We had some. Let me show you this also in case you're not familiar. When you put them in the crafting table, you can just switch. This is the one you make with, I forgot, like this. You get 16. So I had to make a few more glowstone. We had the phosphorus, no problem. And we'll come back here. And then when you put it into just the crafting grid, so this is the normal one, and then you can switch it over to the flat lamp. And I like this one better because you kind of see the brown through. Anyway, so now you see the sprinkler can do a radius of 4, and that's why I ended up with this configuration. So it goes 4 this way, 4 this way, just like a regular, you know, water source block for farmland. And well, for this size, we just needed 4. And what is happening? This is not extracting. Is something... Did I mess something up? I moved these earlier. Let's see here real quick. Where's my wrench? You should be like that, so you can go... Aha. So it goes like that, and I just want to stop. Why am I... What? Oh, because they're all full. I just wanted to go like this. That's interesting. So when they're harvesting and they can't hold something, then all this just pops out. Alright, let me run around, pick up all these seeds and coffee beans, and everything came to a standstill here because of this bottleneck right here, but it should be resolved now. Okay, and then, so, there's a travel anchor right here, so I can go back to the observatory, and I called it farms. And like I was saying, that they're overlapping, of course, here in the middle, but I wanted to make sure everything gets hydrated. And also, they help the growth a lot. So we got 4 identical farms like this, and I think, I'm hoping this is gonna be plenty. Alright, and then over here, I used, again, the agon with a different color as a filler because, well, we don't need any dirt here. And look at this, how many coffee beans we fit on here now. I said coffee beans again, I give up. I'm so sorry. Cocoa beans. I don't know why I keep saying coffee. Drives me nuts. They're cocoa beans. And they're, I hope that this is going to be enough. That we're going to have a good ratio. 4 of those to 1 of these. I'm hoping it's going to be enough. There's no sprinkler over here. I don't even know if sprinklers actually affect cocoa. But in case we don't make this fast enough, what I was thinking is I could just make another farming station 1 up here, for example, with another ring of these. They don't need farmland and sprinklers and stuff, so it should be fine. And then over here I kept everything manual. And I didn't want to just crowd this just so I crowded. Here's the end stone. So these ender lily seeds hopefully grow a lot faster. We got carrots and potatoes, pumpkins, melons, tons of cactus and sugarcane. Just, you know, in case we need it, it's here. And I do kind of, I haven't even checked if we, can we make lily pads? Yes, I'm gonna make some of those so I can cover up these water holes so I don't fall into them. It's a pain in the butt. Anyways, so yeah, these are the farms. And now let me just show you guys one more thing underneath. And before we go there, let's take a gander. We're up to 5,900 wheat. That is including the 2,000 something we had in the ME system. I brought them up here. The same with the seeds, and cocoa beans were up to 1,600. So right now we have too much wheat to cocoa bean ratio. But I want to let this go first because don't forget we had a few thousand wheat before we ever started making cocoa beans. So it's possible that that will catch up. Okay, and then down here, I just put these down recently. There's no light nearby, so they should all grow pretty quickly. And so, here in the middle is the endless water source. The same way we had before, 16 speed upgrades and the world interaction. And they go to all these open blocks tanks. It works really nice, they're always full, and that's where I set the sprinklers on top. And before I forget to mention, I used the garden soil for this over here, for the pumpkin, melon, carrots, and potato, because it doesn't need water. And I'm not worried if we don't get them fast. You see I have 63 potatoes on the barn, we have lots more in the ME, and that's my food source. So all these go around, and I did not wrench these. There's no reason to wrench them, because we don't just want to go away. I want this to check every direction possible. And these right here should not be any problem. Okay? The energy will never go here because it's blocked off. And the items will never go through the energy cable, so they will just come around like this. So these intersections seem to work fine. I have not found any issues with it. That's it. That's the whole system. I think it's very simple. You know, there is a lot of pipes, but it seems to be able to keep up. And I'm hoping that this is going to produce a lot of cookies for us. Okay, I think it is time that we think about how to automatically craft cookies and then also compress them. And I looked through NEI, and the only machine that I found besides the cyclic assembler, which I am actually kind of regretting not making this one because I'm a little worried about the crafter, how it's going to work with the inventory. And I'll show you guys this in a second. Let's make him anyway. You guys have seen me make all these other parts a couple of times, so I didn't want to waste any time. What are we waiting for? What are we missing here? But I made it all. Or guess I never made this guy. Okay. Now here's 2 crafters. So one of them is gonna make us cookies, and then the second one is gonna make us compressed cookies. So let's bring some conduits here. I already have the energy cell on me. And we get this. Alright, now we still need to have... Don't want to use transfer nodes. I do have these. Let's use these regular conduits. And let's make another cache for now, just because they are quite handy this way. Okay, I think that is all we're going to need. Let's head upstairs and let me show you what I'm thinking of doing here. So the first crafter is gonna go right here. And the second one right there. And I hope I'm not overthinking this. The compression part probably doesn't make much sense just yet. Because, well, I don't think we're gonna make anywhere near enough cookies just yet. But it might be a good idea to just have it set up so... Well, I don't need to worry about it. So now this has power. And let's put these guys down real quick. There's one. And then I'll show you guys what I am worried about. So they have power. And it's gonna take 2 wheat and 1 cocoa bean. So you put them in here, and then you put the cocoa bean in there, and that's gonna make us 8 cookies. Now my problem is that when I turn this on, is it actually only going to put... Oh, okay, it already made it. Never mind. You know, what if I'm out of cocoa beans? And then it fills this entire thing here with wheat. Well, once I have cocoa beans, then they have no place to go. So that is a worry of mine, if this is gonna work out that way. Or is it gonna be smart enough to know that? Well, we're just gonna have to figure that out. And then the cookies... actually, I need to set this up over here. Are gonna be pushed out to the right, and this guy is gonna pull items in from the left and push out to the right. And here we're gonna put this cache. And here's another thing. It's important that, let's say it uses all the cocoa beans. Well, next time the wheat comes in, it might not just put it in here, but also there. And when you check with the multimeter, you right click this, you see it says unlocked. I read up on the wiki, and when you shift right click with an empty hand on these, you can lock them to that item. So now you see they're all locked to those 3. So if one of them is full or something, it will never go in the other one, and then we'll have problems anyway. I gotta figure out what to do with these seeds, because they're gonna fill up first. The other ones are gonna be used here soon. Okay, and then here is we're gonna simply have the cookies, which, if I'm not mistaken, we compress our cookie like that, yes? And it's not enough for 1 just yet. So now we're gonna come out of you, and then down to here, just to the first one. Set this guy to input, insert. And set this guy... Now, we can actually test this right now. What happens if I set this to extract always? Is it going to fill this whole machine with cocoa beans? What happens when this gets full? I want to wait this out for a second. It stops. Ah, that makes me very happy. Okay, so my worries were for nothing. But it's always good to test. And now extract this automatically. And now we should see them just coming through here. This is gonna use this faster than we can probably ever produce this so far. This works out good. How many compressed cookies do we have? 16! Woohoo! Alright. So now this is pretty much... I'm gonna let this be. I'm not gonna worry about this for a while. Besides, you know, turning on the power and so on. Because then we get a feel if these are somewhat equal. These should always be somewhat equally empty. You know, one is always going to have a few more of the other ones. I'm never going to be able to time this perfect. But let's say, you know, the wheat is filling, but the cocoa beans in, let's say, a day of playing are just always empty. Then I'm going to need to add cocoa beans. And vice versa. Who knows? But that is enough for this now. I think if you guys have any recommendation, any input, any ideas and so on, I greatly appreciate if you go down in comments and let me know. Because this is just the way I came up with, but it might, you know, be far from the best solution. Maybe you guys have found something better. The only other thing I would really like to do for this area, but not today, is see if we could make our own power source for this. And I had an idea here, and I want to test this real quick. I'm going to take 1 cookie with me, and I'm going to take 3 wheat with me so I can make a bread. And I want to try something out. So we got this cookie, we get this bread, and we actually have a bunch of other cookies here, but I think I'll just leave these here, and we'll figure this out later. But we have some generators, and did we not get a culinary generator? There it is. Now, of course, this is already the ×8, so this is already the 2nd level. But I kind of wanted to see how much do we get, how much power does each one of them make with one of these items. So they're both empty. I'm going to put a cookie in here. Wow, this is actually not bad at all. 17,000 and some change RF for one cookie. And what do I get? And don't forget, 2 wheat and 1 cocoa bean makes 8 cookies. And this guy, bread, makes us a little more, but it takes 3 wheat. So the cookie definitely would be better to use. And here's my thinking, you know, if we have a good enough cookie machine going on up there, we could use one of these and fuel it with the actual cookies, and then use that power to keep that farm going. Then all I need to worry about is adding the hose by hand or figure out a way on how to get that in, which I already have an idea to, but I'm definitely not going to do that today, because when you check these hoses have barely taken any damage. So it's going to take quite some time until they're broken, and I think when I get to that point, then I'll have an idea on how to change this so we can have a chest up here with like 30 holes in it, and it will automatically send hose to each one of them when they're done. Now, one more test. How are we doing over here? It hasn't used everything yet, it looks like. Still have 1800. I really don't want to put a speed upgrade in here because I want to let this catch up. There's no way we're making this faster. Not a chance that we're making any of this faster than we're actually using them over here. Let's do one more test. I'm going to take 1 compressed cookie and put that in the culinary thingy here. So now we have 17,300. Let's see if we get 9 times as much. So we should get about with that about to 180,000 RF if this works. No. Not even close. So this pretty much doubles. So there was no change from a regular cookie to a compressed cookie. So that means that's good to know. So I just wanted to, you know, see this on camera with you guys so you guys get an understanding of where my thinking is going. And maybe you have a different ideas like, no, you know, automate your power like this. Because, well, this is nice, but I still have not automated this. So I constantly need to come over here and turn this on. Especially when we start using this, I would love to get this guy automated. And we said we can only do this with the capacitor bank. But then that would mean I need to change these 3 out. I need to take them out and put 1 capacitor bank somewhere. So I can measure that capacitor bank and then give this reactor a signal depending on that via this power monitor, if you guys remember. That's the only way I can figure out. This one is easy to make. Capacitor banks, these are deprecated. So this is the first one with 1 million RF. Which would mean it has, I think, 1000 RF output. So we would, well, these are actually easy to make. This would be no problem. What does it take for the 5 million? That's when we need to, oh, but we have iron and Invar. And what does it take to make these? Redstone and silicon. Oh, I almost feel like automating this today, guys. Just so I don't need to worry about the power and the cookie machine never there turns off. Let me think about this for a moment. 3? Well, let me tell you guys, when you play modded Minecraft exclusively, you forget about the vanilla mechanics. And I might surprise some people here that are like me, that, you know, try to use all these complicated things. For example, redneck controllers, computer craft programs, reading with the power monitor and capacitor banks, and so on. And I'm gonna handle it all pretty much with vanilla Minecraft, vanilla redstone. Reason being is I did not want to replace these guys. I like the way this is set up, and I did not, want to make capacitor banks and the monitor, which we could make, and it would be okay, but I've never done it this way, and I can't believe I never thought of it, honestly. So what do we want to do? We want this reactor to start running when it gets somewhere down here. Okay, because then I know, hey, these are all gonna be still full, all these energy cells, but internally it's the only way I can tell from the reactor itself, hey, I'm very low start. And then I want it to charge up to about 80% and then turn off again. So that way, because this takes a while to cool down, if I stop it at 100%, I'm gonna waste energy and fuel. So how can we do that? Well, reactor redstone ports. There's some settings, and I'm gonna need 3 of them for this. So let's put these in here real quick so I can show you guys. One here, one in the middle, and the third one right there. And look at the settings they have. You can give a redstone signal depending on, you can say, I want to turn it on or off. So that's for incoming signals. Then I want to change the rod insertion, or I want a signal, I'm going to eject the waste, and so on. But this one is the one I'm looking for here. Output energy amount. This one right here is going to be the port that governs when the thing will turn on. And here you see active while above a percentage, or active while below. This is what I want right here. And I'm going to set this to 10% and commit it. Alright, so this port will emit a redstone signal when the reactor is below 10% internal energy. This one right here, I'm going to do the same, but I'm going to say active while above 80%. Commit this one. So now what is this? How is this going to work here? This one is going to turn on when it falls below 10%. And when it gets above 10% again, it will turn that signal off. This one right here will have no signal until it gets to above 80% and then turn on the signal. And when it gets below 80% again, there's no signal. So meaning between 10 and 80%, there is no signal from either one of these ports. And then the third one here, we're going to set to input toggle reactor on off. Set from signal is if you have a constant signal, meaning when I have a signal, turn me on. When I don't have a signal, turn me off. Or you can change it to toggle on pulse. This is the magic right here. And I'm going to commit this. So now let's run the redstone, and you guys are going to see I brought all this stuff here and I don't need any. Well, I do need something. And now all we got to do is connect these here. And I'm going to show you guys something. I believe we could run it just straight in like this. Okay? But it's going to connect to... Now, if this one turns on, the signal goes all the way around and also here. And when it comes from... So, right here. When this one turns on, it's going to send a pulse here. Turn me on. It's going to turn on. And then when it's above 10%, it's gone. And I believe the pulse is only when you get the signal. It's not when the signal turns off. That doesn't count as a pulse. It's only an active, a positive pulse. Okay? So I could do it like this. But I'm a freak like that, I know. I would like to put 2 repeaters in here. I'm going to put one there and one here. What that means is if the redstone signal comes here, it will only go that way. It cannot go through this way to this port and the other way around. I just don't want this guy to get a signal or this guy to get a signal when the other one, either one of them is off. So now, this is going to be the tricky part here. I'm going to need to wait until this gets down to, I'm going to tune in at around 11%. Because I want you guys to see this when this happens the first time. And then we can see it charge. So I'll see you guys in a second. So this might come as a surprise, but I wanted this reactor to drain a little faster. So I figured I'm going to throw a bunch of stuff in here. Because, you know, every item takes 500 RF to speed this up. and I put a chest. Input needs to come from the top of this machine and output to the bottom, apparently. I tried to put the input left and it didn't work. It put it into these right there. So the top is for this right there. But check this out. I'm checking this chest and I got all this Einsteinium all of a sudden that I don't ever remember having before, and it says radioactive. So I'm gonna take one out and see what happens. Nothing. But if we put it in here, it stops. So I'm gonna put these are stacking here. I don't know why I'm getting so many of this. I'm using the soul sand that I have used before. Man, it sure would be nice if I could get them all at the same, because I have a couple of these left now. And there's 4, there's 2. Are these like catching up or something? Oh my god. What just happened to my inventory? Ay, ay, ay. Can I put any of these in here? No. Let's put the 4 instead of the 1 and the 2 instead of the 2 here. 3, 2, 2, 1. There's another 2. I don't know what's happening here. If these are actually catching up or something. So I'm guessing these other ones are just going to go bad here in a second. Let's see how we're doing. This is important. I don't want to miss this. Still 30%. So I still gotta wait 20 more %, even though I could change this, but I want it to be set up the way it's actually gonna work. And let's check here real quick. Leaded chest. Is this the only size we can make? Mine chem. Oh my, so many things here. Is there an... I didn't see that chest at all. Okay. Oh, there it is. So it just takes lead around a chest to make another one of these. And I think I have PB. Let's make one more. I don't really want to lose this stuff here. I don't know if it's important or good, or I don't know how to make a crafting chest. Dang it. Put this here. Put this around. Oh, we made another leaded chest. That was easy. I'm gonna slap this guy right there, and I'll figure out if, you know, I can somehow combine these, get them to the same timestamp. I guess I could time it, so find the lowest one and then get all the other ones to the same time. But that would be crazy. All right, I'm gonna empty this and then I'll tune in when this finally gets to 11%. BRB. Getting there, 13%. Get back here, quick, quick, quick. So now this redstone signal here should come on any second. Bam! It gave it the signal. And now the reactor is on. Wait! And when this... Let me turn off this NEI here. And when it gets to 80% or 75 here any second, we're gonna go to the back again. And then we should get the pulse from the other side. And it should turn off. Pretty amazing how excited I get about something like this, isn't it? But it's gonna make my life so much easier when I'm playing here, because I don't need to worry about turning this on and off, and oh god, this energy cell is out of power. 75, 75, hurry, hurry, hurry. Bam, signal turned on. Went back in there on pulse, and reactor is off. How awesome is that? And now, see? Let's see how far it gets. Perfect. So it gets to about 92%, and so I'm not wasting any fuel or power. I love it, and the way I sped this up just now, I made 2 soul sand and some glowstone, and each one of those cost 300,000, so this energy cube over here was missing something really quick, and I sped this up. I'm really happy about this. This is awesome, because now, for sure, the farms aren't going to run out of power. Only thing is the hose. And let's check here how we're doing on this. It's been going now for, I'm gonna say, about half an hour since we set this up. And we are up to, whoa, I did not expect that. 2,316 compressed cookies already. That means in the near future we're gonna have to move this over and put another crafter here to double compress cookies. But that's fine. We'll figure this out. How many cocoa beans left? 159. Wheat 2,243. And now here's the thing. We had about a little bit over 2,000 wheat before we started with the cocoa beans. So right now the ratio to me looks like it might be able to keep up. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm going to let this go for a while for sure. And then we'll check back on it next episode or something to see how this is doing. That is all the time we got for today. I just edited the video and I couldn't believe how the time flew by. I had a lot of fun making this episode. I always have fun, but this one was like, man, time just flew by. And I'm super happy about having that reactor automated and the cookies. And yeah, I'm actually gonna make sure that I'm gonna be AFK here probably a few hours until the next episode, you know, besides whatever I'm gonna prepare, but I'm gonna make sure to be AFK maybe an entire night. I just want to see how, you know, how fast we can compress these cookies and then put them to good use, because there's some quests that, oh my lord, we haven't checked the quest book. Yeah, we're gonna do that beginning of next episode. This one is long enough already, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care and bye bye.